relating to the new moon in Virgo. So I'll wait for a few people to connect. This is a very unique time at the moment, and I think spiritually speaking, we have gone through this spiritually transformative state, and it's always very hard. Virgo is the element of logic. And so we've had to take a really good hard look at the logic of where we're going, how our life is. Hi, Google. I thought I'd better jump on because we are heading to the Virgo new moon. So with the polarity of Virgo, it is our logic, it's our intellect, it's taking a hard look at our lives of where we're going. And, although it's a new moon, depending on where we are in our life, we will directly relate to it in a different way. So, if the pill is a little bit too bitter to swallow, it can feel very emotionally purgatory. Especially when it does come to being more realistic, being more practical, creating healthy boundaries, making decisions, which uniquely for each of us, which I will go through each zodiac sign, and I'll pull a card for you, so it's going to be short and sweet. We're having to look at this from a notion of a positive reality. Now, the positive reality is in order to get from A to B, what do we need to do to transform it? And because we do have Mars in Libra, and, we had Mars in Virgo, we had that analogy coming through where we were looking at the logic of what's working, what's not. So like I said, sometimes it can feel very, how would I say it? A bitter pill to swallow. It's like, I can't believe I'm not where I need to be. And I did mention this in the twin flame energy. Spiritually speaking, with all the Virgo energy that we had, it is a new moon. We're looking back to the beginning of the year when we had the eclipses, and we transformations don't happen overnight. So it's a little bit like a pit stop, and we've had that pit stop with all the retrogrades, and we do have quite a few at the moment. So it's almost, okay, how do we move forward when everything's retrograde? And you can move forward, but it's almost the distortion will come through feeling as though you're misunderstood, feeling as though, you can't get a square box into a circular position. And it's about, again, being realistic, but also the distortion can come through with Pisces. Now, the shadow sign of Virgo is Pisces. So we are going to be having a full moon in Pisces this month. And I always, like I say in the videos that I do usually, which are pre-recorded and uploaded, which now that I've moved, I can get back on board with them, is we need to look at the shadow sign. And the shadow sign of Virgo is Pisces. And Pisces is our health, It's our logic, it's our psyche. For Libra at the moment, especially moving into your birthday month and beyond, you've got a lot of activation happening in your 12th house and your first house. So for you guys, it can feel a little bit like, it can feel like an existential crisis. It can feel like you're having a rebirth. You may feel misunderstood. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is with that shadow sign, it's like we're looking at as above, as below, as within, as without to match it. Okay? So with the matching of the frequency, we're going to go through, I'll grab the cards. I did bring them in. Thank God for that. We're going to have a look at, first we'll look at Virgo. Now for you, it's first house placement. So you may directly be changing through this whole process. So you personally might have gone through a stage where you were looking at the interconnection between you and other people. The health, how it's going, healthy boundaries. It not being a one-sided transaction, it directly being a two-sided transaction. And how do you fit into the puzzle in that? How are people seeing you? Do they understand where you're coming from? Now, coming to, with any new beginning, there's an ending. Okay, I'll just say it because it can be a culmination point. It can be coming to terms with something, but it's also something inside of you have purged because you have actually grown, which is a compliment. Many times we can kind of feel, gosh, is it okay if I do change? And again, it's not only the inside that's changing, and it's not only with other people it's changing, but it's the whole point. Is this moving? If I change a perspective, can I go with the flow? First house can be your appearance. It can be your viewpoint. It can be the demeanor of how you interact with people. And sometimes you can feel blamed. Spiritually, I feel you guys have gone through that and you're coming out the other end of it. And I do feel for you, it can, again, feel a very personal transit at the moment. So not necessarily is this going to feel initially like a bed of roses, but when it does come to transformation and change, the one piece of advice I would give you is, because we are going into shadow phase of Mercury retrograde in the house of Libra, for you, when it does come to changing your hair, changing your appearance, probably wait till October. Don't do anything drastic right now that you may regret. Because it can be quite fleeting in an ocean. And again, it's about, at this point, go inside. Not only look at, try and digest it, digest the projection and sit with it. Try not to take things personal, but also sit there and say, hey, is this relevant to me? I mean, when it triggers, we are owning that. So there must be something there that we are looking at that we potentially can be, taking something personal. But again, the projection is the reflection. So try not to take everything personal. And I'm not saying you are, but it can feel that way during this time. Oh, okay. You've got, very critical energy. So it can be, especially because we did have Mars and Virgo, we're having a new moon. It can be easing up and you're coming out the other side of it. So it does feel like a rebirth. Try to not feel like it's happening to you. Try to observe it a little bit like a therapist. So if there's projection being pushed towards you and you're thinking, gee, I've got to change my hair, I've got to change my wardrobe, I've got to change, I've got to be everything for everyone, ditch the junk. You don't have to be such. Look at those connections, and it can be a statement of what is happening with them, but it also, yes, it can be on the other side of it. It can be something happening with you. And stress points can be there. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be everything to everyone. But I do feel through this rebirth, you are a brand new energy, Virgo. Now, I've got to remember the elements. Oh, goodness. Okay. Now, Capricorn. I should really write these down. Shelley, remind me in my brain. I'm telling you, Mercury going retrograde in Libra, it's like, what? Where did I have to be? What did I have to do? Well, I started off with Virgo. Who do we do next? Do we have to go in a systematic order, or is it by request? We'll go systematic order. Capricorn next, right? It does. And that's very Pluto in nature. So we've got to let go. We've got to trust the process, do things that are beneficial for you. It's looking after our health. It's looking after our well-being, casting a critical eye, making major decisions, moving forward with it. So Capricorn at the moment, I still really feel through the previous nodes we had with the Cancer Capricorn axis. It's really playing out till 2022. Okay? Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. What the devil? Let's have a look. So, financially, you guys are looking at something. But at the moment, Capricorn, I feel you guys are looking at things from a perspective of where life is going. Now, this can be... and it was unique. I might very quickly chat about another thing at the end of this if we have time. Otherwise, I'll do a different one. Now, this lands in your 9th house. The new moon in Virgo lands in your 9th house. Now, 9th house is all to do with your values. It can be to do with education. You might be completing a course. It could be to do with travel. But again, it's your purpose. And to really balance it, we need to look at Mercury. Now, Mercury... for you guys, your 3rd house is actually Pisces. So again, to balance it, we need to look at our health. We need to look at the way we are looking after our well-being, as within, as without. So yes, stress levels can be coming through for you. You may have felt that you were really cramming things, that maybe, your values were really put into question. But again, even second guessing yourself, self-esteem, emotions, trying to cope with the pressure. Because of the Virgo transits, it was really asking us to look at our health and the way we were caring for ourselves. And so only naturally, and I really feel it's going to be super interesting in 2022, because when you do look at the attributes of Pisces, it's the 12th house. And 12th house can be anything to do with the house of imprisonment. It can be unhealthy habits, patterns. It can be spirituality. And initially we have to go into the pit stops, in order to come back into the light. So, you know, facing our shadow to come into the light. Third house can be your daily routine. Now, if you really have been putting the work in it, you can really, really see it's more you're investing. So I feel spiritually you're investing in things. You're looking at the very Jupiter notion in life. You're like, okay, what is going to stand the test of time? And again, Virgo is asking us again to take a critical eye on our love life, on our health, on our finances, on what's happening in the collective, and how we can look at that. And I feel for your zodiac sign, you're sort of coming to it from a point of view of, is this sustainable? That's what I'm getting psychically. So I feel you're making some very hard decisions, and I feel spiritually you're having to, you're being that very earthed energy. So this can naturally come towards you a little bit more fluidly. However, with Mercury retrograde in Libra, it is coming down to your career. It's like, okay, do I see this going the distance, innovation and change with Uranus and Taurus going retrograde? Is there something I need to move and shift about? Do I need to upskill? What do I need to do to make this happen? So I feel for you guys, it's going to naturally come to you. Some of you might need a little bit of a break. This can be a great time to actually, you know, take some spiritual time. You do need to be cautious at the moment with your superiors. Due to the fact Mars is positioned in your 10th house. Now, it can be great for getting things done, but don't rest on your laurels. And what do I mean by that? Anything you're putting your energy into, it's almost like we need to pour our energy into it. But again, there can be conflict there at the minute in certain places that we have Mars in Libra. So we do need to be wary and cautious about how we're operating. So I would say be careful with your superiors, but I do feel it's really going to benefit you. So if you're at work and there's a nagging situation and you kind of, you know, you might be putting your resume out, this can be a good time to do such. But at the same time, I do see there can be growth in this department for you. And it's also what you do in a give and take. You're changing that. So if you don't think something's for you, be it it's a relationship or be it, you know, it's really move that value into yourself and have faith in yourself. And be reactive, but not projecting. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you feel something's toxic, do something about it. But if you directly see the benefit in it, it's a short-term frustration for a long-term gain. That's what I'm saying. What would be next? So we've done Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. That's right. I'm getting good at this. It's funny because I'm half asleep. I have had 3 caffeines, which is naughty of me. Good old Pisces energy coming through. Taurus. Now, you guys, I would not be surprised. You have to really look after your energy. Now, a very interesting situation happened with a celebrity here. And this was the kind of chit-chat I was going to have. And I opened the chart. My sister mentioned it to me. And it was what we call a wag. And I'll probably do I did say that I was going to start doing little mini readings for celebrities, which I haven't put that in the trash. It's just there's been a lot changing. So that'll come back on the table. And with this particular celebrity, some of you may know this celebrity. This celebrity is a Taurus. Now, funny enough, she did something in public, and it was during a time where they weren't allowed to go out into public. It got into the media. A friend, which I'll do the chart, but it's all in the chart. You have to be very cautious at the moment, Taurus. Now, the one warning I would give you guys, let's have a look at chart. We had, okay, so number one is you guys have 4th house of Leo. So you guys naturally are house names. You guys naturally are the innovators. You could be, you know, your own bosses and things to that degree. You could launch home businesses. Now, Virgo lands in the 5th house, which 5th house, it's a new moon in Virgo, which is in the 5th house. And this is for, thanks, Stel, this is for your social pastimes. Again, Virgo is health. Now, this celebrity happened to be doing something that was more Pisces in nature, and I don't mean Pisces is negative. We have the high octane of the spiritual sense, and we have vices and habits. So this was a vice and a habit, and it got out in the media, again, because we have Mars in the house of Libra, For this person, it lands in the 6th house of health. It was the person's place of undoing. So you do need to be cautious, I would say, of your friendship groups. You do need to be cautious also of what you do in your social environments, especially when it does come to habits. If it's high octane, you're all good, but you need to be careful surrounding your health, scrutiny, judgment, because Mercury's going into retrograde as well as Libra was in this house. So this friend launched the video on social media, which again, in the 6th house, it's friend, Libra. It also was, this person is a model, and they lost their contract. So the new moon is happening in the 5th house of creative projects, but pastimes, and it was due to this pastime that this person had, and a friend went out and put that out there, which it was all in her chart. So the one thing I would say for you guys is when it does come to your luxuries and your creative pursuits, pour your energy into it. If you feel you're not resonating with your job, go back to those ways where I can actually say to you, you could say, right, a hobby could turn into a job. If you're wanting a business to be successful, what would you need to do to make that happen? Be cautious of the people around you. Be disconcerting when it comes to the people around you. If you need to cut people off, we need to cut people off. It doesn't have to be anxious. It's you guys have gone through a hard time, and it's hard because Uranus and Taurus, which is 1st house, it went retrograde last month, so it's happening directly to you. So yes, there's a lot of changes, right? And now the 11th house of the full moon at the end of the month is coming up, and it's in Pisces. So with this frequency, you guys are bound for success. You have a huge transformation over the next few years. So you're adjusting, you're transforming, your value systems are changing. And even if it means you are renewing where you're going and what's happening, please trust that. Now, there could be something to do with children coming up, definitely by the 5th house. It also could be a time of great fertility for you. And I would also say, because we are having Venus and Scorpio, something to do with your relationship is going to be coming up big time. And that will be to do with your contracts, with your work, the people you surround. Be intuitive, but be open and make sure the give and take is there. You do have the star card, but let's just make sure the star is for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons, okay? Libra. What's happening with Libra, please? Libra, you guys, like I said, try and not take this month and next month personal. It's 1st house placement. You may, at this point, feel as though you can take things personal at the moment, because it's almost like you're having to be a jack of all trades. You're having to do a lot of things to move life forward. You're also very good at, using your intuition, but emotions can be coming up hardcore. So, look after yourself during this time. With Virgo, it is connecting into your 12th house. So what can we feel? We're having an existential crisis. It's like, oh my God, I'm thinking of everything. These creative ideas can be great. And I heard an astrology the other day talk about Libra being very indecisive. And I actually don't feel that's true. I think Libra at the moment is very much similar to Aries. Now, Libras can be empathic and understanding, but it's also very cautious to not move into ego too much. Again, we've got 12th house, which is a bit of a bugger. Not to move into ego too much, because we will always get to a space where we can say, have I been the wrong one in this situation? Which is all good and well, but currently we have Mars in Libra. So the issue will be from your friendship groups, from your jobs. It can be with family. It's connections point blank zero. So you can be getting to a point you're thinking you're really getting tired of buggery. Okay? So again, be careful of knocking your head. 12th house. New beginnings can come through. Your psychology, you can be really strict about who you're circling yourself with. You can be really on your high octane, wanting to understand people's perspectives, and from a creative position, because we have Libra in Aries, yes, you can really benefit this month, especially as we have Scorpio moving into your 2nd house of finances. So yes, whatever energy you are pouring into situations, it can bring wealth, but you do need to really be cautious about how you're reacting. Now, the hard part is you can feel attacked, like you're trying to be everything. It can cause emotion. So if you're getting tired, take some time. If you're needing a break, take a break. Virgo kind of gets us to be perfectionists. It's like, just choose, just do, just let something be if it needs to be, and understand that if people are projecting towards you, you can't be fair to everyone, but it's a bit like the plane's going down. Okay, what does the air hostess say? Look after thyself before you can look after another. It doesn't mean being selfish, and everyone may be right, but you also won't be good if you're always agreeing with everyone. So it's okay to create healthy boundaries and just say, look, this isn't okay. You can't speak to me this way, or that made me feel a certain way, which Libra, you guys usually are very good with this, which I feel you will be, but it can really be testing your nerves at the moment if people are really pressing those buttons. So I feel intuitively you're going to be quite focused, and I do feel your finances are going to pick up, and I definitely feel a lot of healing is coming through. Which the beautiful thing is, look at Taurus, for instance. There's a huge transit at the moment with Uranus and Taurus there. Huge innovation and change. Very different zodiac sign will be there, after about 5 to 7 years. Same situation with you guys, Libra. Your relationships and Aries, both parties there are going to be hugely transformed. So please do trust the process. You guys were made for this. Move through the energy. That brand new beginning can come through. You might suffer from headaches at the minute. Be careful of your head. Be careful, again, of ego. Don't get stuck in your head and rotate. If there's something that you need to do, just get in and do it. It's a great time for concentration. So if you're having issues sleeping, get in and do those nagging situations. Because as Mercury goes retrograde, you're going to have a lot on your plate. So you're great at juggling, but get those tedious tasks done ASAP. Gem. Okay, you guys could move home. Okay, maybe there is a change happening in your daily routine. Maybe you have been running around like a hairy chook cleaning your house. I always feel synchronistically that this time can be, you always know when you're moving. You'll start throwing things out. You'll start packing things up. This is the beautiful thing about the age of Aquarius. There's one thing I've found that is a beautiful thing, and not only because I have the element of air in my chart, as well as others, but is that trust your instincts. But you will always know what the instinct is and what ego is. Ego can be a pain body experience, and it takes us down a rabbit hole. If you can just pause for a second and step back, you'll know the difference. You'll be like, okay, I felt some sort of way. Sit with it for a minute. If this has been an ongoing thing, especially during Mercury retrograde, you'll know that, okay, this is for you. Do you know what I mean? If it's just a new thing that's come up and at a fleet of a moment you want to make a rash decision, more than likely it's through a wound. So you're better to sit with it a little bit and wait till October. Now, the new beginning is coming for you guys, which is hitting your 4th house. So this can be your daily routine. This can also be a huge level up. It's getting your house in order. It's getting your routine in order. It's like, okay, if I want to be successful, what do I need to change? And it can be anything in your life. And again, especially because Virgo is get the chaos in order, it's a great time to do such. So, getting that frequency sorted, moving those situations, it's really going to benefit you. This also can be a move of a home. It can be a purchase of a home. It can also be a decision that you are saying to yourself, right, where do I want to retire? Anything to that degree. So whatever those situations are, it's going to be brand new. You also could get new items for your home too. There could be new people coming into your life. But I feel the big changes there. Now, separately, towards the end of the month, which we'll do another video, and that will be linking to Pisces. It can be your career as well, changes, things coming to a head. How is it directly impacting your health? What you do, the people around you. I feel all of this is really coming up simultaneously. And we'll still be going through that kind of dissection viewpoint during this month. So I think it'll make sense to you by the end of the month, but spiritually you can feel, maybe your daily routine is a bit in chaos. It's affecting your health, trying to do everything for everyone. You can't be everything for everyone. Can you be open to having people help you? So the give and take is being looked at the minute. You could take things personal as to how people are, again, treating you. And the people in your surroundings can be changing too. Let's pull a card for you. A Gemini. Yeah, kind of stuck. It's like you might be taking a critical eye on the home. Now, I always say, if you're nervous, focus on service. What happens when we're nervous? We go into power cleanse. Sometimes if we're unhappy with an environment, from a psychological point of view, we'll move furniture. And it's like, if you've done that for a while, it's kind of telling you something. It's like, I'm dissatisfied with something. Let me sit with this emotion right now. And I think if you can sit with it, it's going to give you the clarity. Great time to do journaling. Great time to, if you have looked at a situation that you've been dealing with for a really long time, sit with it, acknowledge it, and decide what you're going to do. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius. Now, you guys, we've still got Sun retrograde. You are having a bit of a shake-up. You're also looking at that of what you can depend on. Okay, that of what you can depend on is your 8th house. Now, this is very Pluto in nature. It can be anything to do with inheritances, legacies, tax. It can be coming to terms with, family and lineage and what things you directly can depend on. This can also be for those of you in a partnership. It can be your partner's income. Now, 8th house is deep. This is deep intimacy. This is maybe you feeling you have to be the bank. This can be a brand new beginning in this domain, though. For some of you, this could be a brand new contract, a new way of ushering income in. And although we are towards the end of the month, having the full moon in Pisces, with any ending, there's a new beginning. So I always look at both of the moons as kind of doing the opposite. But they're going through that rotisserie, so to speak, to bring both polarities through. So I am really feeling for a lot of you at the moment, you're looking at a lot to do with cash, self-esteem, your benchmark of what you need, and what your likes and dislikes are. That can be of a connection, that can be of your workplace. But this can be a very important time for you where you're looking at your net worth. You're looking at what you directly have. Now, 8th house is life, death, money, legacies, inheritances. Where is your life at and how can you effectively rebuild? So, if there was a tower moment, are you on stable ground? And sometimes that can be us looking at, are we codependent? Do we have healthy boundaries? What directly can we depend on? Is it an insurance? Is it a childcare situation? Is it, shares, whatever that is, but it's very much linking into that domain. So for many of you, again, there is a brand new feeling, and it also could be to do with what is happening in the collective at the moment. Don't we, follow the suit of what the ideal is and, our health? You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking very, what would the word be? Giggle? Political. I'm trying to be politically correct. So don't you follow the norm of what society is saying when it comes to your health? What do you feel about it? What are your values in your family? Is it fair-based frequency? Is it documented evidence theory? Whatever that directly means to you, you could be looking at that. Is it safe? Is it not? But a lot of you are feeling that something's got to give. And I feel this is more to do with your life. It's like, okay, what directly can I depend on? What am I willing to sacrifice? What am I not? Where is the give and take? And 8th house can be deeper intimacy. So it's being able to open up and express the good, the bad, and the ugly. Being able to be open and saying, hey, I have this as a need. Cancer. Quickly have a look at yours. Okay. Okay, you're going to be quite... Now, moon phase is always Cancer, even Pisces and Scorpio. Always look at the moon for your energy. You take on it's like, and it was funny because Twin mentioned to me yesterday, and Giggle mentioned it this morning, which I didn't tell her, chameleon. Taking on the vibration and, almost camouflaging yourself into the environment, but you can be taking on the demeanor of that vibe, right? So you are intuitive in nature. You're emotional, but it doesn't mean you're, emotional. It means you're intuitive and you feel. It's very, very much like air, but it's very logic, okay? You've got justice, okay? What I'm getting from your chart Let's have a look at it. Is A, you can take on the energy of the third house. Now, third house is all to do with communication. Your routine, the going from A to B, you could be casting a critical eye on your new life and your new things that you want to do. Now, third house also can be communication. So with your communication style, I feel a lot of you could be looking at A, what you eat, your diet. It also could be wanting to, wanting to have more energy, wanting to look after your vibration. But also, if you had been personally having some emotions come up, you could really be reaching a resolve psychologically of, if you're trying to get things in order, it is to make your life easier, not harder. So I don't think you're going to be doing anything that's going to be making your life harder. I do feel for some of you, you could be like literally looking at, okay, do I need to change my diet, my health, my well-being? How am I feeling? How am I communicating? But you may be having empathy and understanding, but at the same time creating healthy boundaries. Now, good old justice. Now, this could be to do with work. This could be to do with love. Libra for you guys does fall in your fourth house. So I think spiritually, again, it's your home. You might have just signed a new contract. You might be looking at your accommodation of where you're going to be and how it's going to give you a new routine, which synchronistically enough, yes, I have done, and I have Cancer in my chart. So we are in a new home. So yes, for some of you, it can be a move of home. For some of you, it's getting home in order. But it's how you merge with people, your social friendship groups. Is home chaos or is home calm? And really wanting to bring that new vibe in. Again, I do feel this is really important. Your environment is extremely important, and I do feel you'll be vocal about what you need there, but also more willing to have the give and take, and only really working with people and groups that are having the give and take. And I do feel if you are dealing with a situation that is difficult, I feel this could affect your aura a little bit more. So, pay attention to those people, pay attention to those areas. I do feel this could be a really great month for you, because as we have Venus moving into Scorpio, again, any emotional blockages, they could come up, but they're going to show you. And this can be a time to really connect really in a quality way with people that you resonate with, to have a better connection with. What would the other thing be? It also can be a time of fertility for you. And again, for your creative projects, it could bode very well. Anything else I need to say? If you are studying, this also can be coming to a close. But again, I do feel you're going to be having communication to do with home, family, children, and, really looking at what your purpose is. But something's definitely changing. But on the bigger octane, it is to create more balance for your life. Pisces. Let's have a look at Pisces. Pisces, now, yes, this is your seventh house. So your relationships are having a brand new leaf. This can be a new beginning. This can be, something coming to a close, something coming to a new beginning. But there is a new look, okay? Now, if you're bored, decisions are going to be made. But no decision is a decision, right? So I'm kind of getting that for you guys. It is a new beginning. If relationships and connections are being tense, it's because you've had that seventh house place there. It doesn't necessarily mean, and I'm not really one of those people that, cover astrology that is a doomsday kind of analogy. It's so broad, it can play out in so many ways. For some of you, yes, you can get to a point and you can say, look, I'm really over this. For some of you, it can be a brand new connection, but you still can have connections and move through adversity and retrogrades and have the most successful connection. But if it's showing you something, it's what can you do within your control to actually change that about, so that you can have more fulfillment. And remember, no man or woman is an island. So sometimes we can project to the other person. Sometimes, we haven't articulated our needs, our wants, our desires. Maybe we're being strict on ourselves and then accidentally, projected it out. And that can be vice versa. But you do, with the first and the seventh house, always have this huge transformative sense. And then suddenly you have this revelation that you've changed. And does change mean that everything's going to end? No, change means you're evolving, and that's beautiful too. So please trust the change. You may go from liking ice cream to hating it. You might go from being vegan to being a meat eater. We change. It naturally happens. Your likes and dislikes are coming up for question. So pay attention to that area. Now, I do feel many of you can be having memories of past over loved ones, and that can be because at the moment Mars is in Libra. You know, looking at it, what directly can you depend on? This can be with your work. This can be with tax. This can be with paperwork. Get that paperwork done. If you need to get paperwork done, it can be more difficult during Mercury retrograde, but the great thing is you'll get all the detail because anything that was hidden, you're able to really shift that focus onto. I mean, I've always noticed during Mercury retrogrades that the conflict has caused so much positivity because it was always there in plain sight, but it was missed. And so I could tweak things to make it better moving forward. So please do trust that. But I do feel for you guys, if you're really looking at what you can depend on financially, for some of you, it can be, you know, money coming from a partner. If you're in a relationship, yes, there can be more income coming through and there can be more support, but you need to be open to let people to help you. And that can be us getting into our yin and yang. Now, the new moon in Virgo, like I said, is connecting into your relationship. So it can start easing up now. That can be a benefit. Try and take 4 days either side. Don't expect it, you know, like a fairy godmother, bang, is perfect. But you can be reaching some resolve, but don't be critical of yourself. You don't have to be perfect. Allow people to love you individually for who you are. But something's shifting in you, okay? Accept it. It's okay to change. Okay, so I've done Cancer. I'm Scorpio. Scorpio. Okay, you're going to look lovely. But you know, that old analogy, first house placement. Yes, we do the inner work and then we do the outer work. Now, at the moment, Libra is all up in your 12th house. That's okay, Chris. Libra is all up in your 12th house. So you could be thinking, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. You could be thinking about work. You could be really at war with yourself. Am I good enough? It's because it's 1st and 12th house. Would I suggest doing anything cosmetic yet? No. No, because it's Mercury retrograde, because Mars is there. Mars is metal. Now you think about cosmetic procedures. Mars and metal? No. Okay, you don't do that yet. You wait till October. If you want to, it's on your own. Okay. If you're psychologically coming to terms with something, go within. The new beginning for you is coming from the new moon in Virgo. Now, this is your hopes and dreams and aspirations. This is, you know, the people around you. 11th house is riches. So yes, you can be very popular this month, I will say. People can see the benefit in you. Now, you also, with Mars in the 12th house, can have a lot of logic. Well, you're probably having nightmares at the moment, Lois, is because Neptune in Pisces is 4D. It's the distortion. When we had Jupiter in Pisces, it's the expansion. It's spirituality. It's 12th house, but yes, it's 4D. So we can get stuck in the 4D and psychic attacks are happening. But I'll do an update about that soon. So for you, Scorpio, I will say, now your 11th house is the house of riches. You could have unexpected fame. You could have sudden situations going in your favor. Also, what your role is in a group is going to be revealed to you, but it is going to be a new role. It is going to be a new beginning. Some of you may have a new purpose. It's like, okay, I don't want to do this job anymore. I want to do something different. I want to be with purpose. I want to be with logic. You've cast a critical eye on it, and it could have been other things around you that were causing issues, that maybe were causing blockages. So whatever this is spiritually, for all of us collectively, it is a healing for us to move forward to get the best out of ourselves. Virgo at the moment is very Chiron energy, and at the moment we have Aries and Chiron retrograde. So the frequency of our higher heart chakra and our ego, our third eye, the devil in the detail, we're trying to perfect things, but we're also coming to terms with where we are. The distortion can come from being critical towards ourselves or situations that we wanted it. You already got the shadow, doll. September the 27th, I believe. But you'll get the shadow happening a week to 2 weeks in already. We don't have long. Okay? 27th, correct. You'll get it a week to 2 weeks beforehand, but you've got a week. So paperwork, get it done. Resumes, get them out now. Things can move faster during the retrograde, which can mean you can get a job faster. Is it the best time to sign? Probably not, but we can't wait forever. These aren't times at the moment to be little Miss Muffet sat on your tuffet, especially with the logic of Virgo. Libra wants to balance things out and rationalize. I've got so many retrogrades, but Mars is there. So it's saying, be productive, be proactive, do things. Nothing's going to be perfect, you know. Tweak it as we move along through the retrograde, but do be, you know, obviously you have to be comfortable with it, but sometimes things happen and we just have no choice but to move forward. Okay, so who was I at? I was at Scorpio. So yes, financially, look, new hopes and dreams. What is your role inside your employment? How can those things change? You're going to be assessing that. For you, you know, yes, people can be jealous. Projection is reflection. As within, as without. Focus on what you want. You can't make everyone happy. If someone's projecting towards you and they're causing angst in the workplace, really assess. Is this for you? Is this for another reason you're here? Or you get my gist. If there's something up, trust your intuition. Know that you're worthy and you do have the element of success behind you, but we must take the steps to make that happen. For you, I would say also, like I said, Libra's there in your 12th house. Try not to be critical, but definitely when it does come to your contracts, cast an eye on them at the moment. Tension can be coming up because Uranus and Taurus is retrograde in your 7th house. So you're looking at, okay, can you transform and change through these changing times? I mean, a lot of us are suggesting to keep off technology. We've got the North Node in Gemini. Next year, we've got the North Node in Taurus. It's to do with technology, innovation, and change. And they will be the solutions, and they're going to be part of the collective. So we do need to keep relative in these domains and be aware. So many companies that didn't move online can get left behind. Is it a gospel? No, but it's astrological. It's what's coming. So we've got to be creative thinkers, think outside the box, and know your customer base, know your workplace, and know your abilities. Okay, what are we doing next? Who haven't I done? Aries. Okay, now, tension in relationships, passion in relationships. You versus other people, guilt. What do I want? How do I feel? A lot of changes coming. I do feel, again, what do you want? If you're feeling hard on yourself, if you're feeling, you know, you've got to make everyone happy, we can't. We can't. Rome wasn't built in a day, but we can't make everyone happy. That's the truth. 1st and 7th house is such a learning place, and I'm a Libra. I've also got Scorpio on my chart, so I know the deal. You don't have to make everyone happy. You could have a lot going on. You're going to have a lot of energy to spread yourself, but you can burn yourself out, so be careful. Also, people could project towards you. I'll just say. I would sit with it. At the moment, some of you could be going into hermit mode. This could be directly impacting your health, but I do feel many of you are going to be creating healthy boundaries, and it is about a major decision. I do feel this is coming up for you. Scorpio will be entering into Venus, and you can really be looking at, okay, who directly can I depend on? Can I open up and tell my truth? Can I open up and allow love to live? Can I let love into my heart? And it goes both ways. So again, this is about not looking at a situation in a sense of a one-sided transaction. And as I always say, what does the air hostess say to us when the aeroplane is going down? Please get your mask first. You better have your bloody belt on. Put your oxygen mask on, then you can help others. And I feel you are important. This is what you've got to understand. You're important. How do you feel? Is this affecting your health? Can you keep this up? No, you can't, okay? How can we take a critical eye on this situation and make a healthy decision for ourselves? Leo, you guys. Now, you're the shadow sign of, Aquarius. It's been a hard few months for you too. You guys are natural born ladies. Your income can be increasing, but you can be doing too many things. And I did really feel, especially because Libra is, Libra is a masculine sign, but it's yin and yang, really, when we look at it. It's intuitive. You've got Mars transiting your third house. You may feel you have too much on your plate. You do need to be careful of your emotions and your eating at the moment. Health, tension, stress. You could be really looking at your diet at the moment and trying to get into balance, which can be a positive thing. But you also may feel you're doing too much, and that can be causing stresses, especially when it did come to how can you provide for yourself? What do you have? Self-esteem, second-guessing ourselves. The Virgo transit was getting all of us to be a little bit critical, but a bit also to cast a critical eye. And that's not that Virgo's a critical energy. It's practical and logical. Now, the practical and logical energy is asking you to look at, can you achieve all of these things? You guys are the born leaders. You guys are the born, what would I say, running your own businesses. It has slowed, but it is because we have so many retrogrades. And what this year is doing is preparing us for 2022, because we can have similar themes, but in retrogrades, it's showing you new ways to generate income, new ways, again, North Node and Gemini, okay, new ways you can actually create a new knowledge base for advertising or marketing or doing something in your skill set, but taking you outside the box. With Virgo, it's asked you to look at it critically. Also look at what you want in the future. So I feel with that second house, it is a positive energy. And it's also by marketing and advertising and getting yourself out there, speaking. This is where, be it you're putting resumes out, you're going to get good income this month, providing you trust the process and you take the direct steps. Now, the uncertainty was because on the 30th last month, we had Uranus and Taurus go retrograde. I believe it was on the 30th. That was hitting your career sector. So what universe is showing you, some of you have two jobs. Some of you are balancing study and work, or study and business, so you're multitasking, but you could be feeling initially, I'm doing all of this and nobody else understands. I'm doing this, can I keep this up? But why you directly are doing it is because you're being logical and rational, and you're looking at the devil in the detail. You're like, okay, where is my stability at? Can I be a creative thinker? Can I evolve and change? And sometimes we need to have a hectic situation to really push us forward to go, wow, I'm never going to take that anymore. I'm going to do the hard yards and I'm going to make this happen so I can have a more successful life. And I feel that's really what your zodiac sign's going through. Yes, the new beginnings, any placement that is having a first and a seventh house placement. And yes, we did say this can be the time that Leos can marry, but it is also about both parties changing, because you directly are transforming. The success is going to be there, but the transformation initially you go through in order to be open to it. So yes, I still do see marriage in the area, but you're casting a critical eye at the minute on what you directly need inside of a connection, what the give and take is going to be, what your personal needs are. Are you able to, come to it? And it's really developing you to be into that true leader you always have been, and the true star. So again, I will repeat, your new moon is hitting your second house. Be careful of your finances. Don't be critical towards yourself. If you feel you need to do something, get on it. Is it paperwork? Is it a website? Is it getting your resume out? Go do it. Okay? Don't tell yourself false fulfilling stories. Yes, some areas might be showing you that you're not as motivated. It's now that you have the psychic download, which is a logical download really from a humanistic experience. What do you want to do with it? And I feel this is what it's going to, bring up for you. It'll show you what it is you need to change. But you're made for this. So please do trust it, because there is good energy there. What other zodiac sign? Sagittarius. Okay, Sag. Uranus and Taurus went retrograde in your health sector. Okay? So look after your nervous system. Look after your diet, your well-being. Create healthy boundaries. Trust the process. The hard work you're putting in, you're going to get it out. This can be a time when you're looking at, your life moving forward. And I can tell you, most of us have been working extremely hard. Now, the new beginning can come in your career. The new beginning can come into, okay, what position do I have? And sometimes we can be working, and we feel, again, the square box isn't fitting in the circular hole. Why doesn't it work? It's a bit like we're at kindy and we're trying to work it out. I'm kind of getting with you guys, you can have a breakthrough. For some of you, yes, it can be, look, I've looked at this, I'm being realistic. Yes, I need money during these, uncertain times. But it's also, you might have really created a total skill set around your career sector and maybe been telling yourself that you couldn't reach that second level. But I feel many of you have worked extremely hard in this domain inside of your own personal lives. And I feel that this is really going to benefit you moving forward. This can be a brand new beginning. This could be a pay rise. This could be a brand new job. Again, I would highly suggest, if you have not been happy with one situation, this can be coming up at this time. If this has been, you've been happy at the job, you've been working hard and you're trying to move things around, this is where you can actually have, direct transformations happening. But your steps that you're moving forward are very direct, if you know what I mean. Oh, thanks, sweet. Now, I do feel also your hopes and dreams and aspirations will be coming through. You do have the 11th house, Mars. Don't argue with superiors at the moment because Mars is there. And it's almost like, you're 2 seconds off getting a pay rise and then you have an argument with your co-worker and it's like, heck, then they're just like, and I saw you with something, and it's not to give our power away, but it's like, don't give up, man. You have some luxuries there. But if you have a dream, what are you going to do to make it happen? And it's really asking you, please, 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 don't wait forever. Know your worth and know you can make these things happen. Sometimes, yes, we do have to make these sacrifices. Short-term sacrifices, slow burn on that treadmill to get that, to get that Britney Spears body, whatever it be. But I just see for your zodiac sign, it's very, it's not instant gratification, especially next year. You guys can have a lot. This can be a time where next year you guys could buy a house, okay? The changes you're making, your income, your everything, you're setting yourself up. Yes, it could be a home-based business. For those of you that are thinking of doing something like that, book a reading, I can look through your chart. You can have success in that area. Now, when it comes to love, you're going to find things are really going to be flowing. You do need to be cautious near the eclipses because it's in your 1st and your 7th house. We're going to be having eclipses coming soon. I'll keep you in the loop about it. But just keep doing the integration. Everything we do in life, to eat, to live, to protect ourselves, to have these interconnections, they're all connected. They're all part of your life ecosystem. So although we love looking at love, as we develop and change, we attract that like manifestation. I just see for you guys, be careful of what you're doing with your health. Look after your nervous system, get enough sleep. Tension can be coming up this month with family. Try and balance the routine, keep the communication flowing. Caution with superiors and groups because your emotions and your stress levels can be there. Otherwise, I see this to be a very successful time. What was the last one? Leo, Sagittarius. Have I done them all? Have I done? Am I done? I think I did. All elements done. Okay, my beautiful. So if you do want to book a reading, you can. I need to love you and leave you because I have some clients now. What I will say is with Virgo, you can get headaches, okay? Look at the shadow sign. 5 tips. Even though it's a new moon, it can feel purgatory. Even though sometimes we need to make a change and we can feel we're an ego or we're stuck, no decision is a decision. Sometimes we need coaching. Sometimes we need counseling. Sometimes we need a little bit of moral support and it can feel painful, even though it's a little bit like pulling a toenail out. We know it needs to happen. There's something that needs to be looked at, but it is taking us to that higher octane. It is taking us to where we're going future tense, but it's really nurture yourself at the moment, chant your crystals, Definitely a great time moving into the new moon. Yeah, give yourself a few days, but your intellect and your heightened intuition can be there. And yes, psychic attacks can be there. So use Tomboline. You can be having out-of-body experiences. What would the other thing I'd say? Keep your fluid up and caution of heart palpitations because it's high heart chakra. Okay. What would the other thing be? And don't be too critical on yourself. Look after your diet and your nutrition. Probably a good time to get into light body frequency because, you know, the nervousness can come through. And dehydration, guys, can be there. The reason I say that is because we have all this healing and purging and brain energy. Eat your fatty acids. Keep your nervous system protected. Balance your chakras. But again, the headaches, the third eye, emotions, Chiron energy can be very heightened. So if you're finding somebody's irritating you, if you can step back for 5 and you can have a breather and go, okay, I want to be in my most highest octane. Have I missed something? Even though I want to mess you up. Breathe, take a 5, look at it from both polarities. Have you missed something? When you are having a conversation with an individual that is irritating the heck out of you, what is your outcome you have control over on your side of the fence? And is it a fleeting moment of emotions that maybe we could just go hang out with a punching bag? Or, you know, do a European thing and break a plate, you know, something that we can do differently. If you can take 5 or even 24, come to it then with the logic of wanting to understand another person's perspective, that you may have misunderstood something, or the person may not have understood that they upset you in some shape or form. And you're probably going to get a lot more out of it, and it's going to change the demeanor. But we need to know that what we're basing our realities on, we've totally digested and understood everything that was said, felt, done. Okay? Try to be as logical and practical as possible. And yes, we can be our own healer. Love and light. Thank you guys for joining. Didn't want to let you down. I'm going to go and I will be with my clients. See you soon.